If you have heard of the 1970s in New York City, then you must be intrigued by the raw and gritty atmosphere that once filled the streets. Do you remember a time when the city was in the midst of an apocalypse, struggling to keep up with the demands of its citizens? It was a period of history that shaped the city as we know it today. In the mid-1970s, in a gritty part of town, a group of friends led by Fernando decided to play hooky from their daily lives and explore the streets of New York City. These friends, captured in the photographs you are about to see, lived in a neighborhood that was both vibrant and dangerous, full of life and on the brink of collapse. The photographs you are about to witness were taken by Rich Allen, a struggling filmmaker turned photographer. He fell in love with the art form, capturing the essence of New York City with every click of his camera. These images tell a story of a city on the edge, where black and white film cost a mere 79 cents a roll. Rich lived in a basement apartment on 3rd Street in the East Village, a neighborhood that was a microcosm of the struggles facing the entire city. Government promises made in the 1960s could not be met, and by 1975, New York City was broke. Garbage piled up on the streets, mental patients were released onto the streets, and crime and drug abuse skyrocketed. The city was in desperate need of a savior. A rally was held in Times Square to save New York City, with speakers like Woody Allen and Dustin Hoffman pleading for help. But when Mayor Beam turned to President Gerald Ford for assistance, he was met with a resounding "drop dead." The city was left to fend for itself, with no choice but to confront the problems that had been neglected for far too long. The photographs you are about to see were taken primarily between 1973 and 1977. They capture the essence of a gritty, real New York City that could only exist during this time. Some of the images are from the 3rd Street Film Club, a group that Rich started with the local kids in an empty lot. However, their paradise was soon taken over by the Hells Angels, who closed it off with the police's blessing. These photographs also tell the story of a young man named Fernando, who played a central role in Rich's life. Fernando and his friends were part of the neighborhood, the Greek kids, the Puerto Rican kids, and the black kids. They all had their own nicknames for Rich, but to everyone, he was also known as Picture Man. As time passed, Rich moved away from the city, but he would always return to 3rd Street, where he had formed a deep connection with the community. However, one day he learned that Fernando had died. He had been trying to start a new life in California but returned for a visit and tragically lost his life in an argument that turned violent. Fernando was a sweet young man, and his spirit lives on in these photographs. As we journey through these images together, let us savor the history that they hold. Let us remember a time when New York City was on the brink of collapse but still managed to shine through the darkness. The most exciting part is still ahead, so let's immerse ourselves in the images and reminisce about that era.